from work the other day and found out that our laminate flooring had some buckling in the hallway. Apparently that was a result of the AC line leaking. So we'll take a look out here. This is where it had buckled in this hallway area, also up by the front door, and that was a result of moisture coming under the fish tank here, back from our AC unit, which is over here. First thing I did, of course, was to try and determine if that was indeed the problem. So there's the AC unit. It's about 100 years old. Go ahead and flip that off. Pull off this bottom cover, so we can take a look at the real problem. Pull out the filter here, be able to see down inside where the condenser drain is located. Because this is an older house, you can see the drains down there going into the floor, into the concrete. The hose comes back over here, comes up the side. This is it coming right up here. Goes up, and it would normally connect to that PVC, which then goes into the pan underneath the condenser. So what I've done now as a temporary fix is to hook up a hose here, which is actually for an aquarium, but operates the same way. It's just like a regular garden hose, which I have going into our bathroom, into the bathtub for the time being. Since this sits lower than the level of the condenser, it drains with no problem. So you can see that's where the problem was. This entire area down under here in the floor was wet. A lot of moisture that was down in there. You can see there's some drip marks just in the dust and the dirt. But that pipe was full to the top, and this obviously just hangs over the top and runs down inside there. So the water had spread all throughout. We have tile on this side. We have tile on the other side. Actually, we have tile on all three sides. This is basically just a big central middle area. So the water came out where the laminate is, where it's lower. The way that laminate operates is there's a layer of plastic on the bottom, there's a layer of padding in the middle, and then you have the laminate on top. So you can see that here. It's the plastic, which I've cut, and then the padding is next, and then the laminate sits on top of that. So the reason for doing that was to allow it to ventilate, get some air on the concrete, and allow everything to get dried out. You can see here, it's still a little bit wet. You can kind of see some color differences. This particular piece of padding is still wet, but unfortunately this is a 150-gallon aquarium, and that is not going to budge. So this entire section of concrete is now dry. It was wet up under here as well, but I pulled all the padding out, so all that's going to have an opportunity to dry. This area where the plastic is still located never actually got wet. But over here by the front door, again, there's more foot traffic. This also was wet. The reason this area is black over here is from existing or pre-existing tile that was removed, some type of vinyl mesh tile. So again, over here was all wet underneath this. This has been elevated. The plastic still remains under there. You can see it here. The plastic that still remains, mainly because it's impossible to pull out this one big sheet from under the aquarium. So all that will be dried out in about 2 or 3 days. Hopefully after that we'll be able to just reinstall the laminate, so we'll get an update after that happens. Okay, so here we go. It's been about a week and a half since the incident happened with the water leaking everywhere. Because for some reason in Texas we get a lot of rain all in spurts, and it's rained for like the past week. So first thing we're going to do is to make sure, number one, that is the correct pipe that comes out of the front of the house, and number two, then we're going to blow some air through it, try and clean it out, see what we can do. So we've got our trusty air compressor here. First thing we're going to do is only shoot about 20 pounds of pressure through there. So you can see the 20 pound on the gauge is right about there. Of course, this is the total gauge pressure. This is the hose pressure. So we're going to walk around the front of the house and do that. Be right back. Hey, Jeffrey again. Just giving an update on fixing the drain line for the AC unit. So this afternoon I decided to take a look at this outside pipe here that comes out of the house. Try and find out exactly what the purpose of this was. I thought maybe it was the AC drain line.
after a little bit of trial and error, I managed to find out through basically using sound, knocking on the pipe and listening where it was coming from, that this actually goes to the drain for the hot water heater, the thermal control valve drain. Come to find out that the AC drain actually goes directly into the plumbing, into the city plumbing, which is very unusual. Never seen anything quite like that. So here's my front clean out in my front yard. I managed to finally inside snake a line all the way down through. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see down in there, but you can actually see the snake all the way up to here, all the way from almost the back side of the house. I used a 25-foot snake and almost used the entire thing. Let's go inside real quick and take a look at where that went through. Hi, cow. So you can see the snake's going in right here. There's the little handle. And goes in right back up there. I've actually got the drain line in there now. I poured some boiling water to get everything cleaned out. There goes the snake in there. So finally all that's taken care of. The line's cleaned out. It's draining really well. Hopefully next update will be finishing the laminate. Okay, as you can see, we got the snake pulled back out, everything closed up, vent back on the bottom, draining just fine. What I did is went ahead and used this port right here, this T, boiled up some water, used a funnel to get the boiling water down through here, clean out this entire run, and especially down in this area where it drains. I assume there's a lot of algae and whatnot. I assume there's a lot of algae sitting in this pipe right here, which would have only furthered the problem later along. So down in there now you can see the water's nice and clear, everything's nice and clean, so we're a lot better off as far as drainage goes. Hopefully that should take care of this problem until next year, and then we'll just have to pour some more boiling water down there, get that algae cleaned out, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so bought new underlayment, put that down into there. This one's black, the other one was clear. So that's down, taped around the edges. Got all the underlayment put back down, and now we're working on putting the flooring. The pieces that of course are missing here where it was wet. Some of these pieces are a little out of place, but everything back together. Fortunately I had another box there, which will be going in place of all these other missing pieces, and then I'll have to order some more molding for across the door here and over by the front door there. Okay, so here we are. The floor is all done, put in. The only thing we lack, as you can see, are the moldings in between the transitions and this one baseboard that I need to reinstall. This was a lot of work to get back in, mainly because it was having to slide the flooring down in between the rows to get it to come through. But it's all back together. Looks pretty decent. So that's it. Project finished.